Hi guys, Kar Yong here, and this video I would like to specifically reach out to you guys who are deciding whether you want to copy and follow my portfolio here on eToro. Now I feel that this is very important because what I've observed is that many copyists, or I would say investors, when they first come onto a social trading platform, what they do immediately is they went on to search like what is the top copied traders and investors, where's the top follow traders and investors, and then they blindly follow and copy them. Now I'm not saying that that's a very bad idea, but to me it's very important that if today you want to follow my strategy and you want to copy my portfolio, it's very important that you at least understand how I do it. Okay, understand what is some of the strategies that I deploy to actually build up my entire portfolio. Okay, so a quick one over here. Of course, I won't have the time to go into details, each of the strategies that I deploy. Okay, but generally there are three approaches that I use for my investment portfolio. Okay, so the first one here is very straightforward, right? I look at dividend growth investing. So what I do is I look at companies that have a potential of growing their dividend, companies that have fundamentally solid financials, right? So and then what I'll do is I look out for a good pricing based on technical analysis to actually enter in this position. Okay, and for my dividend portfolio, I'm not looking to exit this trade unless there's a shift in the fundamental perspective of the company. In other words, this position here are for the lifelong unless something change. Okay, and the idea here is to be invested in this company where they pay off dividends. I'm going to collect the dividends, put back into it, compound and build up a solid passive income for generations. Okay, so that's the first portion of it, the first strategy, right? Dividend growth investing. Now the second component, or the second strategy that I use over here in my portfolio, is what I call momentum trades. Okay, so these are slightly to the shorter term, where every start of the month, okay, or so, I will start to look out for opportunities in the US stock market where the single stock, or I would say, those stocks that have a huge chance of going up in a significant amount of price. Okay, so the idea here is I'm looking out for price that has the momentum to go up in a relatively short time. Okay, and what I'm doing here is I'm capitalizing on the price movement. Okay, and therefore the name momentum trades. Okay, so if you look at my current position, okay, depending on when you're watching this video, of course, if you look at my current position, I do have a position running on Zoom. Okay, so that's an example of a momentum trade. Okay, so every beginning of the month, I'll do look out for the opportunities to get in, and of course, if the trade is doing well, what I simply do is just manage it accordingly, and let's see how far we can ride. Okay, so that is the second strategy. Now the third strategy over here is what we call seasonal trade ideas. Okay, to keep things simple, to not overcomplicate the complex, essentially what I'm doing is I'm looking out for historical patterns where certain trades tend to rally and perform better at a very specific date or period of time. Okay, and what I do is I enter a specific date, I exit a specific date, and I don't care whether these are technically sound in terms of the charts. I don't really look into their fundamental as well, but naturally some of these companies are of course solid companies. Okay, but the idea of seasonal trade is just purely based on historical statistics pattern, and we make the decision on when to exit, when to enter. Okay, so generally these are the three strategies that I use, and I thought it's important for you to know if today you want to copy it, right? So with that being said, some technicalities part in terms of like questions you might be asking yourself, how much should you be allocating? What are some of the horizon in terms of the duration? Okay, how long should you be looking to copy my portfolio and positions, etc. Okay, so now I'm not a trader on eToro where I go in and out all the time. Okay, so I'm looking at mostly US stocks on eToro, and it's more of the longer term position, or even if I'm trading, it's more like swing trades, momentum trades, right? So I would suggest that if today you want to actually follow and copy my portfolio, the minimum duration you should give yourself is at least 3 months. Okay, in other words, if today you want to judge the performance of how well my portfolio is doing, whether you want to continue having me in your copy portfolio, give yourself at least 3 months. Okay, by the end of 3 months, if you decide that, okay, maybe I'm a little bit too conservative, doesn't fit your aggressive nature of investing, then by all means, after 3 months, you realize that, okay, it doesn't work, okay, then you can leave, okay. But what I observe is a lot of beginner investors, they're coming in looking for that 100%, 200% in a very short period of time. I'm not saying that it's not doable, but what I'm saying is that if you want to achieve that kind of results, that kind of performance, you need to put in a lot of risk. Okay, now for me, I always focus on risk management first, and you do realize that my drawdown is relatively small. I'm someone who is pretty conservative in risk management. Okay, so again, give yourself at least 3 months to determine if my style fits your strategy, fits your profile. Okay. Now, how much you should be investing in, should you be investing and copying in terms of my open position? Now, I would strongly suggest that if you are seeing that most of my positions are running in profits, then please do not copy them, because what can happen is I might close those positions in green, in profit, but because you are copying it late in the market, you might end up losing instead of winning. Okay, so if most of my positions are running in green, do not copy. I repeat, right? Do not copy those positions. But if most of my positions are running in red, hopefully that's not going to happen, right? Then, of course, if most of it is red, you are able to copy it and copy those open positions. And maybe if I recover from those, you might make more than me. Okay, so again, before you decide on whether to copy my open positions, do take a look at those performance first. Okay, in terms of how much, usually I would suggest, if today you really want to start investing, you require at least a minimum of $500 to $1,000. Anything less than that, to me, is really very difficult for you to manage your entire portfolio. Okay, and of course, I would assume that I'm not the only one that you are going to copy in your entire eToro portfolio. Okay, so I would suggest, right, minimum somewhere around 500 allocation to copy my portfolio would be a good start. Okay, but I want you to know that, rest assured that I'm someone who is very conservative in my risk management. So again, doesn't mean that if you're going to allocate 500 to copy my portfolio, you're going to lose all, okay? Because the worst case scenario over here, of course, is if my entire portfolio goes to zero, then your portfolio, the amount they allocate of 500 will go to zero. But, I'm not definitely going to do that on my portfolio. I'll protect it, and therefore the risk on your side is again controlled. Okay, so I hope this video here gives you a much better understanding before you decide whether you want to copy me, because again, I feel that that's very important. And I know that, I've been trading, investing in this industry for long enough, and I know that not everyone out there fits the style, the conservative approach, the strategy that I'm using. And that's perfectly fine, okay? But I want you to at least know, understand how I'm doing, what's the approach that I'm putting in before you make the decision on whether you want to follow and copy my portfolio, okay? If today you have any questions, okay, I believe you're already familiar with the features on eToro, by all means, drop your questions on my wall. I'll be more than happy to assist you, okay? And of course, if you'd like to understand a little bit more about the strategies I use, the techniques I use, the template, the toolkits, the system, the processes, the blueprints, basically everything that I use to use and invest on eToro. We do have a course and education training course as well. We call it the Smart Investing Challenge. Okay, if you'd like to, I have a link dropped below this video. By all means, understand a little bit, find out a little bit more, and if it fits what you're looking out for, right, you can actually enroll for that training as well. Right, so that's all from me. Hope this video here give you some clarity, give you some better understanding about my strategy, and of course, if I'm able to help you, my portfolio is able to help you, I'm more than excited and happy to have you joining us in this journey of investing and trading. Okay, so with that, I'll see you guys soon.